The Spanish Immersion program in the Sioux Falls School District is a unique school choice that gives children starting in kindergarten the opportunity to learn and reach proficiency in a second language, Spanish.
All subjects are taught in Spanish. Children learn both the language and the content area in Spanish while in the classroom. This allows our children to gain many cognitive linguistic benefits in learning in this manner. The goals of the Spanish Immersion program include grade-level academic achievement in all content areas. The students are able to achieve academically at their grade level in their content areas.
Another goal of the Spanish Immersion program is language proficiency in 2 languages, English and Spanish. Students become functionally proficient in Spanish at no expense to the learner's English language development.
Number 3, enhanced intercultural understanding. Students, parents, families, and schools build the learner's understanding and sense of themselves in this intercultural global world that we live in.
Mi nombre es Alex Giraldo. Este es mi 5º año trabajando con el programa de inmersión de español. Yo nací en Colombia.
Mi nombre es Jenny Ruiz. Yo soy de Colombia, Suramérica, y este es mi 2º año enseñando en el distrito de Sioux Falls, en el programa de español de inmersión en español.
Mi nombre es Ángel Pérez Alé, yo soy de España, vengo de Madrid, enseño en kindergarten y este es el primer año que estoy en un programa de inmersión en español.
Al comienzo del año,
At the beginning of the year, they know nothing. They are starting from scratch. In kindergarten, we use a lot of gestures. We use a lot of pictures. We are using our hands to talk. We use the tone of our voice and the way that we talk. Also, it's all about routines. They learn the routine and the vocabulary that goes with it. They learn what we're going to do next. This helps them so much, and then they start to become more independent, and eventually they know what to expect and what's going on in the classroom. And then after they know the routine, after about 4 weeks, they know what to do, where to go, they know the words, they know me.
Another thing is with the reading. We use books that have big, colorful pictures, which get the children's attention. They have to describe the characters, the colors, and whatever they see in the pictures. Another thing that's very important in these activities is that they express themselves in complete sentences. And then they need to answer whatever questions we ask them in complete sentences. So the way they speak is going to be the way they write. Their speaking is reflected in the writing, so we put a lot of emphasis on this process.
The lesson today was learning parts of the body. With the help of the interns, the students made a drawing of the parts of the body and they returned to their groups to sing a song about body parts. They played a game named Simón Dice to actively learn body parts. Different orders were given to them to locate each body part. Then they saw a video about the body parts, and students had to locate body parts on a chart. Parents often don't realize that Spanish is spoken in many different parts of the world and is a very diverse language. It's the same level with English. When a person learns the language, he learns different traditions, cultures in each country. The teachers here are from many different Spanish-speaking countries, so the students acquire a wider view of the world.
The method for acquiring the language is the same. The important part is that they hear the language. I don't speak to them differently. I speak to them just as I am speaking to you. I use normal language. I don't speak slower or faster. I use normal flowing speech. Also, it is important that they listen, and as they begin to read, that they make the transition from the phonetic aspect to the written aspect. The key is just to speak to them and to make physical contact with them. They can start working on their own, and we are there helping and encouraging them. That's what we do. Basically, the whole day we are talking with them.
To acquire the language, the first element I use is music. I find that it's very effective, especially with the young ones. I really like music, and through music we can learn many different things. In the beginning, it's the first element that I use to present new material, and it's different from a traditional approach. It's an excellent tool for students to learn the language. The second technique that I use is body language. I'm always talking with my hands. I try to speak clearly using gestures, actions, and objects. It's important how we do our first approach concerning the acquisition of language.
El hipopótamo se bajó. El zorro se Me llamo Silvia Sanz, soy de España y llevo aquí 2 años. Este es mi segundo curso y este es mi primer año en primer grado.
Mi nombre es Aida Cortés, soy de Bogotá, Colombia. Tengo 12 años de experiencia en programas de inmersión y estoy trabajando, este es mi primer año para trabajar aquí en el distrito de Sioux Falls en el programa de inmersión en español.
Mi nombre es Eliana Gutiérrez, vengo de Cali, Colombia. He estado enseñando primer grado en inmersión por 4 años.
Hola, mi nombre es María del Pilar Rentería, soy de Colombia, Suramérica. Es mi segundo año con el programa de inmersión y estoy muy feliz.
Es mejor en el sentido en que...
First grade is better in the sense that they have already acquired a language, where kindergarten was very difficult, especially in the daily work. Now in first grade, they already understand and know what you are saying. They are learning more of the structure in how to speak better. They learn more grammar and more vocabulary. They already know the basic instructions.
Aparte de todos los beneficios que van a...
One important aspect of learning Spanish is that bilingual students begin to think in both languages. One of the advantages of speaking Spanish is that it opens doors around the world. I love this program in teaching Immersion Spanish because I can see the students' progress. I like to teach first grade because the students at this age are like sponges. This is when they begin to read and learn in Spanish and achieve great results by the time they reach the 5th grade.
El programa es enriquecedor.
The immersion program is enriching. From an academic standpoint to culture, it is an excellent opportunity for the kids to learn about the world, to learn about our diversity and globalization. It's an excellent opportunity to grow as a person and develop your own language. I believe that in the future that the kids are going to benefit when they finish their schooling and they will have access to millions of career opportunities. It's an excellent opportunity for all the kids, and the total support from all the interns and teachers is a fundamental part of the formation of the program for the kids.
Me gusta enseñar el grado primero.
I like teaching first grade because students make great progress in reading and writing. Students begin to produce more writing at all levels. We work on interesting projects like the author's chair, where students publish what they write. Oral communication is more informal because the English disappears in the school. It's rewarding to see how students become more comfortable with the language. They use it during recess and outside the classroom with their classmates. The development of reading and writing in first grade using Spanish is not much different from how students read and write using their native language. It's very important these students continue reading and writing in their first language, as this makes it easier to learn in their second language.
Cuanto a la escritura,
in terms of their writing, we start with their interests, what excites them, or their families. The differences with native speakers versus our students is that they have to have help with their vocabulary and grammatical structures. We need to go step by step in order to develop their writing, starting with a prompt.
They learn to be flexible with language. They learn that one word can have many meanings. When they grow up, they are going to have more opportunities in the workforce. And they learn about the world. It is diverse. We are different, and there are differences around us. They learn that not everyone is the same as we are here. I imagine that my students will have access to so many different opportunities for careers. They will have better job offers because of their language skills.
Today in class, we did an activity with the story of the 3 little pigs. We're doing several written activities with this story. Students had a paper to write in which they created a different ending to the story. They used different grammatical structures, practiced using capital letters and punctuation in order to write concise sentences. They also incorporated their imaginations and the vocabulary they had previously learned.
Me llamo Jennifer Lunder y soy de aquí, de Sioux Falls. Este es mi tercer año en el programa de inmersión aquí en Sioux Falls. Antes de eso trabajé en una escuela de inmersión en Minnesota.
Hola, mi nombre es Vanessa Granín, soy de Perú, en Sudamérica. Enseño segundo grado y estoy enseñando en el programa de inmersión Enseñé 3 años en Moorhead, Minnesota, y ese es mi primer año en Sioux Falls.
Soy la señorita Greenfield, soy de los Estados Unidos, enseño segundo grado aquí en Rosa Parks. Eso es mi primer año enseñando en este programa.
Están adquiriendo.
They are acquiring a global perspective. These children understand that there are many languages in the world, many different cultures, which help to create a more interesting world. These children acquire the language very quickly and tend to absorb every little thing. As students get older, it takes a greater effort for them to learn a new language.
La matemática se enseña.
The mathematics that I teach in Spanish is the exact same as if I were teaching it in English. I use games and the kids are very excited to learn. I use a lot of manipulatives, hands-on activities. I like it when they can touch something first and then explain what I'm going to teach. In order for the students to function well in the 2nd grade, I explain the material slowly so I know that they understand what it is we are learning. We were doing math and we were playing games. We were practicing the material that we learned a couple days ago, and the kids were playing in small groups. I was checking to see if they understood or did not understand the concept that we covered earlier.
I like teaching in this program a lot because the best way to learn a language is to work all day with the language, where you have to actually use the language. If you are in a typical high school class, you are learning the vocab words without really using them in the practical sense. The language is not as useful, and it doesn't mean as much to you. But for my kids, I can see them using it. They can practice it every day. They know that they make mistakes, but that is how we learn. They are not afraid to speak the language. This is an advantage in an immersion program. The kids are here to practice and learn.
En matemáticas usamos muchas.
In math, we use a lot of tools and instruments, such as cubes, sticks, tokens, so the kids can really visualize what they are learning. The students have to think about the vocabulary that is needed to complete their assignments. Before the kids start working on an activity, we study the words they will need to use to complete the activity. The children have the support they need to complete the activity at hand. Key words and phrases are available to them.
El programa de inmersión es un programa muy.
The Spanish Immersion program is very important. These kids are learning another language, and it is very important for their brain development as it helps them to think and express themselves in a language other than English. In the future, they will have the culture, the knowledge, and a new language. The kids in my case, the 2nd graders, are like sponges that absorb everything that we teach them. I love teaching in the Immersion program because I can share my culture, the knowledge that I have gained in all my years of teaching, and my language with the rest of the world.
I like teaching the 2nd grade because the kids are more independent. I can let them read or work on math, and I'm not worried that they will have a problem working on their own for a while. But at the same time, 2nd graders are really funny and sweet, whereas 4th and 5th graders are more serious. My kids love to tell jokes, to draw me pictures. They are just really caring kids.
Mi nombre es Ana Rosa Polit, yo soy de Quito, Ecuador. He estado en esta profesión de la educación por más de 30 años y aquí en el programa de inmersión de español de Sioux Falls desde hace 3 años.
Me llamo Daniela Moscoso. Este es mi 3er año aquí en Rosa Parks. Soy de Quito, de Ecuador. Ah, sí, y es Paraguay, entonces bórrale. Ajá. Paraguay. Muy bien, es cuando les quitan el chaco, ¿no es cierto?
Entonces el petróleo.
Entonces el petróleo, muy bien.
Y después esta.
Me gusta mucho enseñar aquí.
I really like teaching in the Spanish Immersion program because the parents are very involved in the program. Not only are the students learning the language in class from me, their teacher, but outside the classroom, the importance of learning another language is stressed by the parents. It's a communal effort.
Primero, ok, comenzamos con estudios sociales. ¿Se acuerdan? Vamos a construir la línea del tiempo de Perú. ¿De qué otros países de América del Sur hemos construido la línea del tiempo, Barry?
Ecuador.
Ecuador, ¿de dónde más, Calisto?
Sioux Falls.
De país, no es Sioux Falls, no es país, ¿qué es?
Ciudad.
Es una ciudad, ¿sí?
Bolivia.
Bolivia, Ecuador. Y la ciudad.
I really like teaching the 3rd grade because the students already know how to read and write and express themselves orally in the language really well. They are still young and take instruction really well. The classes are very effective, and at the same time the students are very curious. They are asking more difficult questions. As you could see in the class that we just had, they were asking lots of questions.
No hay ninguna diferencia.
There's no difference in how we teach the students with respect to social studies. The way we teach and the content that we teach is exactly the same as the other third grades in English. Obviously it varies by teacher and the method how we each teach, but we try to use the same methods because we don't want our students to be at any disadvantage for learning another language. We make sure they know the material and the same content as the English students.
The benefits for the students is that they become bilingual, which enhances their academic and intellectual abilities as they can express themselves in 2 languages. Also, it prepares them for the future. It will open up more job opportunities for them in their future, and in general, it makes them more tolerant, accepting, empathetic, and respectful of other people and races. The benefits for the future of bilingual students is that they will have so many more opportunities in the job market. Being bilingual and able to completely express yourself in 2 languages opens so many doors for you in whatever profession you choose, especially here in the United States, where Spanish is the 2nd most spoken language.
Yo creo que muchas cosas.
The benefits for the Immersion program are not just related to their future. The students feel differently right now. They know they are doing something that is different from their peers. Knowing they are doing something special boosts their self-esteem. I believe it gives them many tools to assist them in different situations. The fact that they can speak another language opens up a way for them to approach a situation or problem from a different perspective. The problem-solving skills that these kids are learning is a huge advantage for them. They can be in a situation where they don't know anything that is going on, and they start to help each other and problem solve with me as well.
Mi nombre es Beatriz Torres, soy colombiana, vengo del país Colombia. Estoy ahora enseñando en inmersión en español en el grado 4.
Mi nombre es Leonardo Borges, soy de Colombia. He estado enseñando por 2 años en el programa de español y enseño 4º grado actualmente.
I'm Nicole Groen. I've been teaching 3rd and 4th graders ELA for the last 3 years now.
Me encanta estar en este programa porque
I love teaching in this program. Above all, I get to share with my American students my language and my culture. There are a lot of things to share from Colombia. I can show them things from the artistic aspect, poetry, all parts of my country. Colombia has so much to offer, and I can share it all with them. I love it. I like teaching the 4th grade because it is a grade in which they are transitioning. They are not little children needing basic concepts, but they are also not adults. They are a very precise stage where they are learning in a way that is very natural, and they are thinking about what they are learning. They are very aware of what they are doing and thinking.
I love to see how the students learn the Spanish, how they can express themselves in the language, how they maintain and use it as a resource, and then how they use the language to learn other things. In 4th grade, I love how the students are so independent. Whatever we ask them to do, they are able to immediately start it and work on it. They are very responsible with their things. They also have a very broad vocabulary. We can devote ourselves to teaching a lot of new things to them.
I think it is very important for my students to know 2 languages, and not only for now, but in the future. Now because they are comprehending concepts that they need to see in the English language as well as in the Spanish language. English is their first language, and Spanish obviously is their second. In the future, they are going to have more opportunities in the workforce, better jobs, and also with the language brings a better view of economy, culture, the geography of the Spanish-speaking world.
With the English language arts teacher, we always work together on our lesson plans. We also try to separate the content. Sometimes she will present the lesson in English, and then in the Spanish classroom, we practice what the kids learned. We use it, manipulate the material. All that is required of me is to transfer the concept of the lesson that they've already learned in English to Spanish, and vice versa. Sometimes I present the new lesson in Spanish, and the kids transfer it to their English language arts class. There are some content areas in which Spanish teaching materials are not available. For example, the history of South Dakota. the materials are just not available. So she presents the material in the English classroom, and then we discuss it with each other in Spanish.
They were learning about prefixes and suffixes, adding words, taking that root word and adding that prefix or suffix to that root word and seeing how it changes the meaning of that word. They're also doing it in their Spanish classroom as well, playing with words and just seeing how they can change the meaning of a word by adding that simple prefix or suffix. I'm basically here for them. I'm here for those kids that basically taking the concept they learn in their Spanish classroom and just we try to dovetail information so that way if he teaches it or she teaches it and they come in here and we actually do it so they can hear that language, the English terms as well as to the Spanish terms. I love it. It's fabulous. It's so fun to teach them a skill that they maybe haven't learned. Now, they've been learning these skills in Spanish all throughout their career. So as far as reading literacy, teaching them how to do things, they already know how to do that. For the English portion of it, it's more the phonics blends and the sounds that they don't know that make sense yet. So teaching those little dances or the little jingles that go along with it, I like doing that to help it, stick in their brain. But as far as reading fluency in the Spanish English, it's very similar. We notice the reading levels are quite the same, which only makes sense because they're immersed in English the rest of their day.
Me llamo señora Betancourt. Originalmente soy de Colombia, en Sudamérica. Llegué hace 8 años a este país, pero hace solamente 1 año, 8 meses, que estoy trabajando con el programa de inmersión en esta escuela. Trabajar con los estudiantes de quinto.
Working with the kids in the 5th grade is very interesting. They're older, more mature. They're more independent. They love to investigate. We use the Chromebooks almost daily. The Chromebooks have helped our class a lot. Because they have direct access to the internet, always under my direct supervision, they have the ability to access so much information that normally in the past we could have only found in books. They have so many resources of information there, and they find what they're looking for. And then we always share what we find. And so I love the fact that we have the computers in the classroom. They help us develop responsibility. They know what pages they can use. I'm always watching what they're doing, but it helps their thinking process because they know they can find more information if they keep looking. I am always encouraging them to learn more. The idea is to keep investigating, keep looking for more resources, to search for more. It is something I am always telling them. The Chromebooks have been a great help for our program.
No creo que sea diferente porque
I don't think teaching science in Spanish is any different than teaching it in English. I don't think the language is so important, it's the concepts. As I was saying earlier, the students are very independent, and so it doesn't matter what subject I'm teaching. Part of the reason why the lesson works so well is because they investigate what they're going to do. When we do science projects, it's really interesting because they have a lot of work to do, and they like that. When they have to investigate, search, and figure out why something works, they work in groups, which they really like as well. And that's why science projects work so well. The last project we did on recycling, it was fun. They really enjoyed it.
Puedes poner papeles como aquí.
Como si fuera el correo, como buzones de correo.
Sí.
Entonces cada estudiante va a tener una caja para su propio buzón.
Sí, entonces quizás si alguien necesita dar algo a una persona puede ponerlo ahí o si no tiene espacio
No,
para
y aquí está. No,
para poner todos sus decimos
aquí está.
Papeles y todo eso.
We were working on a health unit, and one of the themes was recycling. And so we discussed in class what types of things we recycle. And then they started to mention things. I said, what happens if we find a use for some of these items in the classroom? But they have to be made from something recycled. They started to come up with all sorts of good ideas. And thanks to the Chromebooks, which are wonderful, useful tools in our classroom, they started investigating what types of food we can use, things we have at home that we could recycle. They brought them in, everything that we needed. They found boxes that could be used for mail, to sort things in, such as pencils, etc. They came up with all of these ideas. Like I said, they love to investigate and find new things to do, and so they really liked the recycling project.
Probablemente el apoyo.
I would also like to mention the incredible support that I have felt from the families in this program. The school, the system, and the school district have supported us greatly. But since the time that I arrived in Sioux Falls, there is a huge support from the families in this program. The parents of my students are 100% involved in this program. They are interested in what is happening in the classroom, and because the majority of the parents don't speak Spanish, they're always looking for other ways they can help the kids with their homework or the material in general. If there is something to do that they don't understand, they simply send me an email and say they don't know what to do. It's just incredible to see how they are always interested in supporting them and the program. That is why this program works so well too, and I believe it's going to have a very successful future.
The success of the Spanish Immersion program is a cooperative effort. Without the support and work of the school board and administration, building principals and teachers, hardworking students and devoted parents, the program would not be growing, flourishing, and improving like it is. But there is another important element we haven't mentioned yet: the interns. Coming to our schools from across the globe, many of these young men and women are training to be teachers themselves, and leaving their homes and loved ones behind for the better part of a year, they become an integral part of the everyday success of the program. There's very little money to be made, so each of them does it for the experience. The chance to work with students and teachers each day while experiencing American culture in the most genuine of ways.
I am Arantxa, I am from Madrid, Spain.
My name is Francisco Jimenez, and I'm from Spain.
My name is Lucas, but in the school all the people call me Señor Bartolomé, and I come from Spain and I live in Valladolid.
I am Lester Sanchez from Ecuador.
My name is Florencia Nievas, I am from Argentina.
My name is Yorema, I come from Bolivia.
Hi, my name is Rodrigo Vázquez, and I come from Chile, South America.
My name is Julia Moreno, or as everybody knows me here, I am Señorita Moreno, and I'm from Spain.
My name is Amanda Carolina Valbuena, and I'm from Colombia.
My name is Eliana Garces, and I am from Colombia.
I'm Sara Alvarez, I'm from Spain.
I have gained a deeper understanding about American culture. I learned a lot of English, and I think too that this experience is very good for me because I have grown as a person.
I try to give them happiness and hard working, to help them all the time and to try to get the best of them all the days.
Spanish is a rich language, so like all the teachers, we come from different countries, or we're learning Spanish in different countries. We can teach the kids a lot of variety of vocabulary, accents, and in this way they can improve their knowledge and they can have a rich knowledge.
My future plans are to be an English teacher in my home country, and this program is helping me a lot because like to be here in the United States like a teacher is a good opportunity to be a teacher in Ecuador. That helped me a lot.
I work in 8 different classrooms, and I work with small groups of students, especially the students who want to improve their language skills. So I try to bring positiveness. I try to encourage them to do better. I try to listen to them, to smile at them. So they feel we really want them to get better, to be better in their language. And I also bring my past experiences in teaching.
Have shared different things, different tradition within the family, and sharing with children the things they like. Of course, I have traveled to different places.
What I do like more is the opportunity I have to interact with the students and with the staff here, with the principal, and and also the opportunity that I have at home to talk with them and try to live this experience and make this experience as real as possible.
Living with a host family, it's amazing because we can learn the real American culture, that it's completely different than the one that we thought before coming here. And well, being here, it has been giving me the opportunity to travel. So I'm learning a lot.
I try to give my best every day. I really like to learn from kids and from my teacher every day. And I think that besides teaching about content, I try to teach about how to live in a community. I think that the best part about teaching, and that you feel rewarded, is when you teach them how to live like happy and in peace with the people who surround them. So I think that's what I try to bring every day to class.
It was a good opportunity to improve my English, and while I was sharing my language with the kids. Besides, I am starting to become a teacher in Colombia, so this experience will be very enriching personally and professionally.
I'm glad to be here, like with my students, with my host family and my partner family. All is great.
And while the interns are gathering professional and cultural experience, the students and teachers are gaining much more. An additional classroom teacher, a helping hand, different varieties of cultural and linguistic education, and lasting relationships.
Los interns son muy importantes para...
The interns are very important to the Immersion program because they bring their culture to the classroom. They come from various countries, Ecuador, Bolivia, Chile, Spain, and so the students hear the slight difference in language from these various countries, but also the different culture. It's also wonderful to have the support of another person in the class to work with the students as they are learning the language.
She helps me with my work sometimes. One time when I messed up, she acted it out, so then I got it right. I like how he encourages me and he helps explain stuff. When we have a question, she's always right behind us to answer it. So if she's over on somebody else's, when our teacher's busy, she can come and help us.
He always wants to have a good time.
And he's really nice in our class, and he likes to play around. Yeah.
El otro día hubo un accidente en mi clase.
The other day we had a little accident in class. One student in my class got her fingers caught in the door. It was ugly. And what I did was leave and go to Senorita Pollitt's room and said to the intern, "Come quickly." She stayed with the class while I took the girl to the nurse's office. When I returned to the class, they were all in a circle, doing what we do every day. And so it is a great help for me and for the students. They know that the intern knows what to do. They go with it and they do well. She acted as if she was the teacher, and that is nice.
She's told us a lot about the places you go there. She's taught about the food they eat there, the activities you can do there, and she told us a lot about that throughout the year.
He would explain it in an easier way to understand something. If we don't get a math problem or something in language, he'll give us an example of how it's done.
Both of our teachers are from Colombia, and then Senorita Moreno is from Spain. And we get to learn two different ways that they talk because they talk in two different ways.
Because Senorita Moreno talks a little bit faster while our teachers talk a little bit more slower. She helped me with my reading when I went with my other friends went to the library. Or when we messed up on words, she tells us what to do.
There are many benefits. One specific benefit that I see in my room is when a child needs a little extra help, the intern is there and she knows what to do. She can listen to the child and help. Another helpful aspect for me as a male teacher is that I always have a female intern who is another model in the classroom. Sometimes a male teacher can be intimidating for some young students, and having a female intern in the room can help those students. She doesn't scare them. After a couple of weeks, they become more comfortable and all goes well. It's just very nice having another person in the classroom.
She helps us do our stuff if we don't know how to do it in order. She's really nice, and I love having her in my class.
Ellos son importantes por muchas razones.
The interns are so important for many reasons. The first reason is they model the language. They support the process of pronunciation and vocabulary. Second, they enrich the culture for the kids because they are from various countries. Third, they teach. Because they come from a different country, they offer different vocabulary, making the kids more flexible with the language. They understand the diversity within the language.
What I like about having them in the classroom is, they're just such a good help, and again, you can learn so much about their personalities and where they come from.
One of my teachers is from Spain, and she does her S's differently, and she's instead of S, and yeah. So then it's from Spain, and then we have from Colombia, so then we can so we can speak Spanish in different places.
I think everybody should know that he's good at soccer and he's really funny. All the interns are so funny. They always make us laugh.
They're just so great.
Yeah,
I think everyone should know all the interns are awesome.
Yeah.
Each Spanish immersion intern is brought to the U.S. solely through donations. Each intern lives with a host Spanish immersion family for the duration of their stay, and with the help of a partner family, becomes much more than just an intern in the lives of many.
We were asked to host an intern actually 2 years ago because our son is a 3rd grader at Rosa Parks, and we've been thinking about it for 2 years. And then last year, Eric just said, we found this really good intern that he sounds like he'd really work well with your family. Fran is an only child, and so is our son, Tyler. So he was used to that no sibling thing. It has been wonderful. Fran is very social, very outgoing. He has a great personality, and he just really meshed with our family. We've had fun getting to know him and his traditions in his country. He's very talkative, very genuine, very authentic. So it's been a great experience.
We are the Van Veldhuizen family, and we are a partner family this year for Eliana, and she's a teacher at Robert Frost. Being a partner family has been a great experience for us. Basically, we pick Ellie up once or twice a week, and she comes over and is at our mercy. No, she hangs out with us, and we teach her about our lives, and she teaches us about hers.
I am a farm girl from Minnesota, so I don't have a lot of experience outside of the Midwest, period. So it's been fun to just learn through Lucas, just a different eating schedule and a different, wake up time. We joke about that. He thinks everything in America starts way too early. But there's been fun things too, like on New Year's, it is a tradition in Spain to eat grapes at the stroke as the bell rings 12 times for midnight. And so we were all able to sit in the living room together and just eat grapes with every ring of the bell. That was kind of fun. And it's just been little things like that. They've made, he and Julia and Fran have made Spanish omelets for us, and we've been able to enjoy that.
Tyler was very shy in using the language. He wouldn't use it outside of the classroom. Very rarely would we hear him speak it. Since Fran has arrived, they only conversate in Spanish. So Tyler's confidence in knowing the language has grown immensely this last year, and I see him using it more socially, not so much the structured Spanish that he's learning in school, but also the social Spanish from Fran. And they'll pick on each other in Spanish, and it's just fun to see Tyler's confidence grow, that he can use it conversationally with someone and not be hesitant because he wasn't sure that he would know a word.
We have 4 kids in 4 different schools in 3 districts. And so when the sheet of paper came home asking for partner families or host families, I knew it was important. You kind of go, how am I going to fit this into my schedule? But I'm so glad we did. It's just been amazing for us to see that side of the program. And these people are giving up so much of their lives for not very much really in return, all for our kids. So in order to give them a piece of their family back, or to make them feel like they have a family while they're here, that was important to us. So it's been great.
It has been a wonderful experience. We were quite spoiled. Lucas has been very easy to have. He really just fit into our home quite naturally. And so it didn't even seem like a big deal. It will be hard to say goodbye in May.
Ellie, you will forever have a place in our family, and thank you for sharing the last year with us.
We love you, Ellie.
Love you.
You can think of them as the 4 pillars of a successful immersion program: school district support, parent and student commitment, dedicated, talented teachers, and devoted, diverse interns. Together they form a program greater than the sum of its parts, a program with a proven record of success and a brilliant future ahead.
Parents in the Spanish Immersion group are a fabulous group of parents that are committed and involved and truly engaged in their children's education. And we have this great group that we have put together, and it's called PASI, Parent Advocates for Spanish Immersion. And our mission with this group, it's kind of like a PTA and a PTO, but our mission is to support and encourage the families and the students and the teachers and the staff of the Spanish Immersion program. And we do many things to support and encourage, and I'll share just a few of them with you. We fundraise for the interns who are from all over the Spanish-speaking world, and they come into our classrooms and are the extra language role model. We fundraise for even adding some additional classroom materials. As a parent group and a community group, we also help the teachers, new teachers come into that are coming to the program, to get acclimated to Sioux Falls, to help with setting up their apartment. We support the families by providing educational topics such as homework help, how to work with immersion homework. We provide all kinds of networking for the parents so that they can get to know each other. We also have a great outreach program where we orientate new families into the program so that they can have kindergarten summer play dates before school begins, so that they get to know each other before the children come into kindergarten. We have summer, we call it Book It to the Biblioteca, which means children in the program can come to a library in the community and have summer reading opportunities in Spanish. We just do a great variety of things. The parent group, PASI, also provides many educational experiences outside the classroom. We use our interns for after-school activities such as the Amigos Club, and the kids can come and participate in Spanish activities, doing fun learning activities after school. We also are putting together a 5th grade class field trip that all children will be able to participate in. So the parent group just does a variety of things to really support and encourage the families and the children in the immersion program. And we encourage all parents and even community members to get involved in any way, because it just benefits everybody.
As the Spanish Immersion program has developed and grown since its inception in 2008, so has its popularity. Currently located in 2 buildings, Rosa Parks Elementary and Robert Frost Elementary, the program's future is even more exciting than its past. Starting next year, the first class of Spanish Immersion students will transition to Edison Middle School, where they will spend part of each day receiving core curriculum instruction in Spanish and some in English. This partial immersion will continue throughout middle school, so students can continue their dual fluency heading into high school, where learning new languages will be easier for them because of their bilingual background. Then, starting in the 2016-17 school year, the entire elementary Spanish Immersion program will be housed under one roof in a new school to be located at the current Jefferson Elementary site. This centrally located and inclusive facility will allow easier collaboration among teachers, one central library of shared materials, and all the learning advantages other successful immersion programs throughout the world enjoy. Let's hear from the pioneers of the Sioux Falls Spanish Immersion program, the 2013-14 5th grade students, about the impact of the program on their lives and the future ahead.
Let's just say I want to be a doctor when I grow up, and I need to go to a Spanish-speaking country to help the citizens. I would already know Spanish, so it would be a lot easier to communicate.
I've experienced a lot of things, and the most vivid memory is not knowing what the teacher was saying, and we would always try to guess what she was saying. And as we extended into the later grades, we would start speaking fluent Spanish and we would feel better about ourselves. When we're in the classroom, I don't even notice I'm actually speaking a different language because I feel like I'm speaking it just as good as I'm speaking English. I think that I will be able to keep this language until I'm like in college and so on, as long as I can keep it, and then I could use it for many other things like going to other countries and speaking Spanish there to them, and knowing the language and speaking to people in Spanish that are around me.
I like it because I can still speak Spanish, and it probably won't fade so fast, so in middle school I'll still be able to learn Spanish.
I'm looking forward to kids being able to learn the Spanish in elementary school, and when they go into middle school they would be able to keep the language, and they would learn more about it, and they wouldn't just learn it in elementary school and then forget about it.
Every year an intern comes, and then we learn about their culture, and sometimes they speak they speak faster or slower, different. They say different words. And we learn about their culture and what they eat and what they do, and like they have posters, and then they show us, and then we get to see their family and their house and their home and what they've experienced.
I would tell them that they definitely should sign their students up for it, because it's a great opportunity for them and it would totally change a student's life.